Hello friends, welcome back again for Japan, studying in Japan through MEXT scholarship. So studying in Japan, when you reach to people, studying in Japan when you reach to people, when you talk to people and when you approach to people, don't do these things. It's a very strong recommendation. Don't do these mistakes or don't approach like this. Kind of suggestions for all of you. My first recommendation, don't message the person in LinkedIn, Facebook and Instagram all at a time, because I replied recently in one of our comments, if the person is not planning not to reply you, he will anyway not gonna reply you. So be careful, don't text all the places. It is also kind of messy. Those people who really genuinely help, let's say some of my juniors and friends here also, they tell me when they get messages, let's say if you send through one media, it's fine, but they send everywhere and even non-relevant situations. So they get offended and kind of, not offended, it's kind of they're busy and it's not good. You just imagine you are in that situation. So it's not good if you do that one. For my situation, I would say, like, I see sometimes the comments and the contacts through all the medias, even my personal accounts. It is kind of messy to handle. So we are also busy with different works and you are also busy, you know that one. So when you receive the messages like this, it's messy to reply back and manage. Like sometimes maybe there is a really need, the people really need help. So that kind of situations, don't do this one. It's not good. So you may lose some valuable information through that person. So let's check the second point, the second suggestion now. The information, there is a lot of information around in Facebook or maybe Instagram or maybe YouTube especially, and online information. So I strongly recommend, follow at least two major contacts. Let's say my channel or maybe my other friend's channel, maybe somebody. Follow at least two main sources and follow another two more, the supplement sources. Stick to that, because when you keep changing the sources, I am seeing some messages that's so weird to me to handle, and it's hard for me even to make them the harsh comments. So I would recommend to you, don't do that one. It's not good. Follow some people, they may share some valuable content. Even if you ask me, I shared some specific and critical valuable information directly in some videos, but I don't share everywhere and I don't even continue those things, because it's like those who watch regularly, they get that information, they can understand what is the meaning. So first two, next two. So another one, the remaining random sources, you can follow n numbers. You can follow any number of sources apart from these first two and next two, but try to keep the information processed. Don't mess with the information, not just for the scholarship or study in Japan, it's for any opportunity where you go and study or maybe go and get the jobs. Don't mess with these things. That is my second suggestion. So I hope it helps you. Let's go to the third point. The third one I am referring to, don't undersee yourself or don't overestimate yourself. So it is necessary when you contact people or when you contact professor or people abroad. So if you overboost or if you underboost, it's your perspective, but when the other side, it may not be that way. They can see normally. You don't need to say too much or you don't need to stop saying too much. So I would recommend, try to balance. It's not just with the communication. Like sometimes I get a message, Bhaiya, do something, I want to come to Japan. Bro, do something, I'll pay you money, but get me some opportunity. Initially I can react hard, but once I come here, I get to understand things here and I also understand your interest. I'm not saying we are not understanding, but it is little bit hard to revert back, and you may don't get a chance to see the response. So sometimes I see some messages, there's so much written about their motivation, it's very good, but the question, when we look, it was so odd and normal question, they didn't even spend 1 minute Google search. So that is making like your kind of, we don't want to reply you. Again, with the documents also same. So when you send to the professor or when you send to the research documents, don't like say always this interest and all. I always say, like, stick to the technicality. If you follow my videos in the previous videos, you might have seen this comment I told many times. So stick to the technicality. Then you can get a chance to convey the information first. Then you can add the information about culture and why you are interested. So this is the third point I would recommend. keep it a bit balanced with your interest and also the information what you want to communicate. Don't exaggerate and don't underestimate yourself. I'm not saying even to see yourself down. You may be stronger. The CGPA and the academic profile, you be practical. So we can escape or we can hide in some places, but not every place. It's not good. Okay. So let me remind you the next point. Please remember the timelines, like the deadlines, the application period. Do you know, if I ask you, are you did you see already the deadlines? We also shared, and even other sources shared. Do you know the deadlines or the application times? So basically the application period, let me remind quickly in this context. So the application period starts way early than what you think, which is like the application period for the next October starts even this time, this summer, and the application for next April also starts this year, and the embassy recommended you can apply for both April and October intake of next year. It's like 1 year period. And again, the university recommendation, you cannot apply for the April intake most of the times. I didn't see anything such like that. So we need to contact to people. When you send messages or text to people, try to know this information basically with you. It is important. Otherwise, it is easy to think whether you are serious or not. So keeping this one in mind. This is normal deadlines. Additionally, you can also remember the additional, like the initial application process and the deadline phase. And I was telling like to start applying early, right? So for that also you try to remember which is the earliest period. So you try to get the information way early than the deadline. Don't wait until the deadline. Okay. So the last point for these reminders, the 5 points I told, there may be more. You can explore if somebody suggests you. So this point I wanted to recommend and remind, work on the documents like CV and research proposal document and the research ideas. So let me give you some ideas. This is Sakura. So some ideas like based on the seasons and based on the situations what's happening in the bilateral the countries like Japan and your country, maybe for example India and Bangladesh or your country. So try to focus on the situations, try to develop your documents. Sometimes it will be like messy. So if you focus regularly, slowly, it will improve. Even it may not be for studying in Japan, it can be for any other purpose. So I would recommend focus on that and plan accordingly. So recently I was discussing with one of the applicant, I don't know whether he submitted or not. He wanted a research proposal and his background is from ECE and EEEs, like this electrical and electronics side. And the technology he has to involve in the research plan, and he is from India. So what we see is like some of the techniques in Japan, which is way ahead of many countries, including India. Like for example, in the cameras, if you ask me, I use these cameras now recently, the latest models, and this Japanese side they have used way early. Even the electronics computers, they used at least 5 to 6 years ahead of many other countries, including India. So you can say that we are learning this AI in this particular field, in this particular computations, and we are studying in Japan, and we are going to expand this technology to India, and then we can solve this problem. So that way I told him to think and propose the solutions, the computational solutions, because it need not to be that you are giving to Japan. It's like you are transferring technology from Japan to your own country. That is also fine. I would suggest to prepare your documents way thoroughly and keep following the updates. I'll keep talking on different topics and different dimensions, and if you follow a couple of channels what I said in the video, it will be good for you, and you'll see very soon the Sakura videos, maybe in Japan Telugu or maybe in our channel. So we'll catch up again. Let's check the next video again. Thank you.